What's happening, loungers? I hope everybody is doing as great as I am this Saturday. Listen, guys, we are going to not be too long, but I definitely wanted to get into AAS and her most recent statements on her community wall and some of the crazy stuff that she has been saying and how all of this stuff literally points back to her. Okay. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to break down a few things, just kind of talk about some stuff and really get into this stuff and use her logic today in regards to this matter and how this actually works and, what the expected outcome should be or would be in regards to this situation. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way in. I definitely appreciate everybody that's in the clouds. But we are definitely going to get into all of this stuff today. So let's go ahead and get right to it, guys. I struggled with whether or not I even wanted to do this video today, okay? Because I really find it kind of funny and ironic that AAS is like squirming around the sector, trying to prove that, all this stuff in regards to Social Security fraud and all these other things, okay? So we're going to go over what those things actually mean, what those terms mean, what all of that is all about and what the outcome would be of such things. Okay, we're also going to talk about what her role in all of the stuff that is taking place in this sector and how all of these things would lead directly back to her camp. Okay, it would all lead directly back to her, and unfortunately for her, there is a electronic paper trail that would prove that. Okay, so we're going to get into all of that stuff because I'll tell you, it took me a long time, right? I think it took a lot of us quite a bit of time to even begin to understand where this paper trail was coming from, right? Like what was being used, how this information on people was being obtained, and and why, right? And it all is coming out in the wash. And I remember saying that, a few months back that, it would all come out in the wash. Everybody would know by the end, what's actually going on. And I'm not necessarily going to speak on that, right? I think enough people have spoken on that, okay? But I am going to go back and give a shout out and a special shout out to the HKC and to Grown Man for his conversation the other day on his show in regards to this matter. And we're going to go over one particular part of his show because I want Anti to particularly remember what was said and what was going on in that situation while she's running around here trying to force down our throats that, somehow somebody's going to jail and all these other things are going to happen. Okay. So we're definitely going to go over those things today. We're going to go over, what Social Security fraud is, what exactly that actually means, and why none of that would apply to any of this stuff. Okay. But we're definitely going to go over that. So I think we're going to start with let me go ahead and look at y'all comments real quick. And then we're going to go over to Grown Man's show. So shout out to the beautiful Bernice. Definitely appreciate you being in the building. You said, hey, the T-Pre in chat. And Teresa, I definitely appreciate you as well. What's up, Divine 7? I appreciate you for coming in the building today. Sister from across the pond. Hey, Muz, definitely appreciate you being in the building. And you said, hey, to Divine. You said, hey, to beautiful Bernice. You said, hey, to my opinion, beautiful Bernice and Divine. You said, hey, to Muz. Hey, Redbone, I definitely appreciate you falling in the building today. Riz Lyricist, definitely appreciate you, Godson, for being in the building. And Mikey, I appreciate you being in the building as well. I know that people were saying they were wondering what happened to you and if you're okay. And I was looking at those comments like, I know he is because he's always in my comment section. So shout out to you, Mikey, for being in the building. Definitely appreciate you today. What's up, Godfather? I definitely appreciate you for coming in today. I think you're going to be very interested in this conversation today, Darrell, because it's very important that the sector really kind of understands what's happening and what's been going on. And I'm not saying that I'm, going to be just talking about everything and talking about a bunch of stuff because I'm not. But I'm definitely going to help anti-Afro with her own logic understand just how knee deep in this that she is, and that the game is over, okay, and that she failed epically at this game. But we're definitely going to get into all of that, and right now I'm just trying to roll up, okay, so we can get right into all of this stuff. So make sure y'all grab up y'all libations, grab up y'all leave whatever y'all gonna do, and let's get this party started, okay? Now, let's first go over to Grown Man's show. You said hey to Godfather, you said hey to Riz, and you said hey to Muz. All right, let's go over first to Grown Man Talk Show. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can hear it. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to share it so you guys can hear what's going on, because there was a very particular part of the video. There was lots of parts of this video that was extremely important for everybody to hear, but I'm not sure if everybody heard it or not. So we're going to go ahead and play this particular part of the video, because I think it's so important to
y'all.
what's actually going on.
Me up, man.
Okay.
It's how they can come online
hold on, y'all,
and act like.
Okay. So I think what was said in this part of the video is so important to what's going on. And it really puts a lot of puzzle pieces together as to why many of us in the sector have experienced some things and who this all points to, right? And I'm not implicating anybody. I'm not saying anybody, is this is true or not true or anything like that. All I'm saying is I think it's important to pay attention, right? And to just listen, because you'd be surprised if you just sit back and listen long enough what you'll learn, okay? So let's go ahead and start with Grown Man Show. Again, I'm playing this in fair use. Shout out to them for having the show, because it was very, very informative. So of course, we're going to play this in fair use, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind me replaying this part of the video. And like I said, we're only going to replay one particular part of the video. Let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. And everybody listen in very, very closely.
It's what you've been ugly, yet your manipulating actions and your inner personality gonna always make you an ugly person. You definitely ugly, and you roll with an ugly motherfucker too, because that motherfucker came on here under the guise that he was a reverend, and he's so far into the bullshit that is pathetic. That shit pathetic.
Indeed.
But yeah, so now, okay, my girl, Mona, in the sector, she got a problem. Yeah, put her on the panel. Let her vent her problem out. She don't want to be bothered with the bullshit. She got things going on. She want to move, and she doing her thing.
Movers and shakers.
So now we're going to blackmail her because she don't want to give us nobody information no more. And we believe that she might have got our information compromised. It was all hunky-dory when it was for us. But now that she ain't into that no more, culpability, yeah, we give her all that. But let me tell y'all something about the federal system, y'all. The federal system works with points, okay? If you've never committed a crime and all that shit, you don't have enough points for, I don't give a fuck if you did compromise somebody's information. You ain't done nothing with it. You may have put it on the internet for malicious purposes. Hey, yeah, but so have your shit been put on there. You haven't done anything that would warrant you going to jail, okay? So don't even worry about that. And then on top of that, before we even get to that, your job going to do what they call an in-house investigation, and they'll get back to them later. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't even going to talk about all that Fed shit, because people talk about that shit. When I got here, through AFW motherfuckers was talking about putting federal crimes on people. Mm-hmm. Y'all been doing that. I ain't seen a nigga get a ticket yet. I've been told y'all a long time ago. This shit ain't going to get no better. It's just going to escalate. The only thing that's going to get these motherfuckers to calm down is somebody getting killed or going to jail.
Now, there was two very important things that he said in here, okay? Now, one of the things that he talked about that, and again, I'm not confirming or denying this because I don't know. Okay. All I'm saying is if if in the event what he said is fact, okay, then he would be correct. Okay. Because if what he's saying and what it appears that the AFWs are now accusing Mona of, right? And if that was really, really true, which again, I don't know, okay? All I'm saying is I don't see that that's the case. But if it's the case, okay, right? But if it is the case, all of this points back to one individual, okay? And that would be you, anti-Afro, aka Andrea Stewart at Kepro, okay? It would all point back to you because for many, many, many years now, there have been multiple people in this sector whose information has been pulled from a much higher level system, right? Where certain records that the public would not be privy to are being pulled and being passed around behind the scenes from you. Okay. Let's listen in a little bit more on what Grown Man said in regards to that. Because again, while you're trying to point fingers at Mona, all the roads are leading to you, ma'am. Okay. Now let's go ahead and keep going. Let's go ahead and keep going.
Hey, I think a nigga will get killed quicker than going to jail. I see a lot of niggas pulling out guns, shooting in the air and shit. They might kill somebody doing that shit because what goes up must come down. Them bullets got to come down somewhere. Y'all might kill an innocent bystander before some, you know what I mean? So let's stop playing these games about people getting locked up. Because me, myself, personally, I hope that's your picture. I hope you go tell the feds on me. I hope they come get me and ask me about you. I think I can get a lot of people to vouch for me on here that I ain't been looking for no motherfucking person's information. I bet you got you sent me dossiers, miss, with a check attached. Don't forget that. We ain't gonna forget that.
See,
let's not.
See, that's the paper trail. Anti. Okay. See, to me, it don't even matter where or how or who you got the information from at this point. It don't. That's irrelevant at this point, right? Because we all know, right? We all know nobody would go to jail over this. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that real quick. Let's go over to what happens. What is, well, I'll just say this. What are the penalties, right, for a alleged officer or employee of Social Security who pulls up information on people, okay, without their permission? Let's go ahead and see that and I'm going to share that screen with you guys, and then I'm going to remove this banner because I really want you guys to see this, okay? Because I think it's important for us to get a full understanding of how this actually works, okay? And while we're doing that, while I'm pulling that up, I'm actually going to read Anti-Afro's page, okay? Because she said a few things that would really is just absolutely funny when you think about it, okay? Like when you look into what she said and the context of how she's trying to say it, I just find it extra fucking funny. Now, I didn't listen to her video. I know she got a new video out on, her ways of protecting the community and showing the community how to protect themselves through Social Security. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the things that she has been saying, okay? Let's go to this one right here. This one I thought was the funniest. She says, anyone who requests, receives, and or transmits any Social Security info, not just Social Security numbers, that was illegally obtained, commits fraud. This is the case even if the information was not used to obtain a financial benefit. Okay, now she's talking to a banker, not a former banker, a banker, right? It's a federal offense for Social Security employees to snoop through Social Security records on their own or at the behest of a drinking buddy. And then she went on to talk about identity theft prosecution. Okay. And we'll get into that in just a minute. She says, as an initiative to increase federal Social Security fraud prosecutions, the Social Security Administration provides the Department of Justice with attorneys who are sworn in and serve as Special Assistant United States Attorneys, or SASA, in multiple U.S. attorney offices throughout the country. The SASA's focus is to solely prosecute Social Security fraud. The goal of this initiative is to increase the number of prosecutions for fraud involving Social Security programs. Now, we're also going to break down what that means, okay? Because what she's talking about, well, where she got this from is directly from the Social Security Administration's website, but it was not talking about anything in context to what any of this is, okay? What she's trying to say is that the drinking buddy is a Social Security employee. Some have even said that Mona is such, okay? Well, here's the thing, all right? Even if that is true, which I'm not saying it isn't, I'm not saying it is, because I don't know, okay? All I know is, even if it was true, this would be the actual consequences of this, okay? Any officer or employee of Social Security Administration who willfully maintains a system of records without meeting the notice requirements of the Privacy Act shall be guilty of a misdemeanor and may be fined not more than $5,000. Okay? So, obviously, from what we're reading here, based off of what Social Security themselves, based off of what the U.S. government themselves is saying, what they're saying is nobody's going to jail. Okay, nobody's going to go to jail. We're not going to have the inspector general is not coming and kicking anybody's door in, snatching their cats and their kids, or none of that shit. Okay, none of that stuff is happening. They're not running through anybody's emails or any of this stuff. Okay, they might give you a misdemeanor. Okay, which means you're not going to jail. You're not even getting on probation or any such thing. Okay, and you might get a fine up to $5,000, okay? More than likely, it would be nowhere near the $5,000 mark. More than likely, it wouldn't hurt your pockets. This is the most that would happen to somebody, whether it was if Mona ever was working for the Social Security, which I doubt, or if her drinking buddy was working for Social Security, which I doubt, right? But either way, whatever it would be, this would be the worst case scenario that would happen to these people for pulling such information, even if they pass that information to somebody else. Now, let's talk about identity theft, okay? Because I think it's very important for the people to understand what identity theft is, okay? Because that's important to know, because right now we're talking about identity theft, and we're talking about, people's information being shared and, so forth and so on, okay? Regardless of who they are, right? But, we're using AAS's logic on what she was saying here, on how if this is used and stuff is snooped and all this other stuff, okay? So let's share this page right here. Now, identity theft is when someone uses your personal information without your permission. Now, that means use, not look at, but use, okay? This would include your name, your address, a credit card number, a bank account number, a Social Security number, a medical insurance account number, okay? Identity thieves can use this information to open accounts, use your existing accounts, obtain medical services, make purchases in your name, commit fraud in your name, file tax returns, get medical procedures in your name. See, are you guys picking up that the entire thing would include some type of financial gain, okay? There would have to be something that is gained financially from the use of your identity. Okay. So they would have to actually physically use your identity, not pass your identity off to somebody else, not email your address to someone, not email a redacted form of your social security to someone, not email your parents' information or names to someone. No, none of that. But they would have to physically use such information for financial gain. Okay. That is what fraud is. Okay. That is what identity theft would involve. Okay. So I can go to the police every day, all day, and say, hey, this person took my driver's license. Okay. If they took my driver's license and they didn't use that driver's license for anything, there really wouldn't be much that the police are going to go and do. Okay. Now, if they went and used it for such a thing, for opening up a credit card or a bank account or using my own accounts or cutting off or cutting on utilities in my name and so forth and so on, now I got them on the hook for actual fraud. Okay. But I can't turn around and just be mad. I can be mad all day. I can jump up and down in front of the police station all day. Hell, they might even give me a police report all day, but it's not going to go anywhere in the courts because no damages have been created. Okay. So this is what I want y'all to understand when AAS is over there still in AFW camp trying to intimidate people. Okay. Because we have her actual information. And it's funny how allegedly the same tactics that she used to get our information, to get information on the people in this sector, allegedly, according to her, the tactics, and thank you, grown man, for letting us know, allegedly the same tactics that she used to gather information about us is the same tactics that were allegedly used against her. Ain't that something, how the snake come back and bite the snake? Huh? Ain't that something? Because that's exactly what happened, allegedly, according to you. And we appreciate you keep opening your mouth and keep talking about it. Because for years, it was amazingly strange on how you were collecting information on Glorion, Let Me See Your Transcript, D. Durrell, Nikki, Flacco, Shakim. Like, Shakim, go ahead and file your reports. File whatever reports you want to. Because like I said, while you're giving him and others all this advice on filing reports and making sure that they put their information in, even if the videos were privated, send those links to the authorities, is what you're saying, right? And that would include your videos. That would include all the videos that you have privated on people's personal information. Yeah. Send those links too, because when you do, all the roads of this bullshit, which you're alleging, right? You're alleging all of this. So all of this bullshit would point to one person, and that would be you. Like I said, it don't even matter at this point where it came from. It doesn't matter, okay? That would be up to the people to make their own decision on that. When it comes to the actual electronic connections to all of this, right? This would all lead to you, meaning the requests for such things and then the receiving of such things, allegedly, according to you. And shout out to Grown Man, because like he said, not only was he getting full sleeves, full jackets on people's information from you, but he was also getting money attached to that. A check always attached. A nice little piece of money always attached. So are you trying to tell us, that this is what you've been doing all along? all while working for such a nice company as Kepro, and even longer because you've only been with them since September of 2022. So even longer? Is it that the same house of cards that you built over the sector to try to take the people in the sector out in various ways has now fallen on you? The same ways that you tried to come for the people? So by all means, you're right. Put in the reports. Because if in the event, right, Mona or the drinking buddy or anybody really is an employee of Social Security, this would be the only thing that would happen to her or the drinking buddy. So it's not really a big deal. Okay. Nobody's going to jail. We've been trying to tell y'all all week. Nobody's going to jail. Now, the question is whether you go to jail or not, because it all depends on how knee deep you have been in this bullshit, right? This alleged bullshit that you're alleging. How knee deep have you been? How far have you gone? What have you been doing out here? And what the fuck was you thinking? Did you really honestly think that you would just get away with this for the rest of your life? Did you? Now, while we're at it, let's go ahead and be clear, okay, on what Social Security fraud means. Because there's different types of Social Security fraud, okay? And it damn sure isn't looking up somebody's information. That's not Social Security fraud, okay? Now that you know that, we're going to go ahead and look into what Social Security fraud actually is, okay? And this is coming directly from Social Security, okay? Social Security fraud occurs when someone intentionally provides false information to receive Social Security benefits they are not eligible for. This includes making false statements on a claim, concealing facts or events, misusing benefits, buying or selling Social Security cards or numbers, criminal behavior by SSA employees, impersonation of an SSA employee, or bribery of an SSA employee. Now, immediately when I saw this, I said, you know what? What does criminal behavior by an SSA employee include, right? Because now we're going to jump to that. You know, the AFWs will try to use that loophole. So, you know, you got to kind of think ahead of them, okay? So I went and pulled that too. Social Security Administration SSA employees may commit criminal behavior by using their access to obtain illegal benefits or help others do so, impersonating an SSA employee, or bribing an SSA employee, okay? Social Security fraud occurs when someone knowingly receives Social Security funds they are not entitled to. This can involve a number of criminal charges that usually have serious consequences, okay? Other examples of Social Security fraud include failing to notify the agency of a beneficiary's death, buying or selling Social Security cards, filing claims under another person's Social Security number. So do you guys see the financial connection to what Social Security Administration would call criminal activity and would call fraud, and why they have such a program as SASA in place for, or the prosecutors in place for identity theft and prosecution of Social Security fraud, okay? Not all these people in place and ready to jump down a Social Security employee if they look up somebody's information or if they pass off somebody's information. That's not what that is. They have to be using that information for financial gain, okay? There has to be a financial gain that is used, that is happening here, in order for this to be considered fraud. So what are you saying, AAS? Are you saying that you were paying somebody to give you information from them? Is that what you're saying? Because if you were, then you're connecting yourself to fraud. Okay? You're connecting yourself to a major bombshell, if that is what you're saying, ma'am. Okay? I mean, I'm just letting you know. See, while you're telling everybody that, this is another victorious year for the AFWs and friends and supporters, the demons launched yet another vicious scheme during the holiday season. This was aimed at hijacking our character by illegally accessing the SSA administration's record system. The plan, however, detonated in the very hands of those who conjured up the scheme. We'll continue to enjoy our crime-free holiday season. Is that so? And why are you so strongly in belief that this is coming from the Social Security Administration? Why do you believe that? Because the stuff that I saw, and I'm pretty sure everybody else who has seen this can vouch for this, the stuff that I saw didn't mention that at all. Didn't say anything about Social Security Administration, Department of Labor. It didn't say any of that. Why are you so adamant, anti? And now Rev G, which, by the way, if this all was true, right? Say this really is true with the worst case scenario, that all of this is actually fact. I don't believe Rev G was aware of that. I believe he's aware of it now because you're making him aware of it. But I don't believe he would have known. I do believe, though, he knew that the information that he was getting on Eyes Antonia and Carrie Ann, which he said he's had for a very long time, right? All that stuff, the Nikki information, the let me see your transcript information about me, Darrell, all of these people that y'all have had information on for such a long time, as y'all say, right? I don't believe Rev G knew or even heard of anything coming from the Social Security Administration. At least I don't believe that, unless y'all have something to prove otherwise. But anti, according to you, this is where it's coming from. How do you know that, anti? What makes you think that, anti? Why do you think that? Is this the same scheme that you've been using all this time to get everybody's information and then passing it off to other people? Because see, that's where the paper trail is. Again, the request coming from you, the information going to you, and then you passing it off to other people along with a payment. Is that really what's happening, anti? See, now the burden of proof is on you, ma'am. Okay? Because what you're telling us and you're telling everybody is that Mona is going to jail. And everybody else who is looking at your job now, yours and Rev G's and Shakem's jobs, we're all going to jail, right? We all are going to jail because we know you work at KEPRO. We know that Rev G works at Avila University. We know that Shakem works at Clearbridge Technologies. And we know that Breaking the Culture is unemployed. We all know these things, right? See, why do you think, and how do you think we know? Is it because you may have been using the same information or not? Then if not, why are you so adamant that this is coming from the Social Security Administration? Why? How would you know that? See, sometimes you talk so much anti, you end up telling on yourself and you end up implicating yourself. Now, what I'm going to tell you next is this. It's possible that this is true, right? It's possible that it's not. I just find it so strange that you think that, and you're so adamant about it. But I can't tell you what the outcome will be for you, Anti, because of all the things that you have been involved with, right? The possible lawsuits that you're facing, if this stuff is fact, and if people can prove damages to some of the things that they have experienced based off of your bullshit. I'm going to let y'all hold on that. I'm going to give y'all a quick timer, and I will be right back to y'all comments. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. Okay. Thank y'all for everybody that is in the building. I've got a lot of comments in here. I know you guys want to sound off. So let's go ahead and get into this. But yeah, at the end of the day, listen, child, if all this bullshit that you're claiming, Anti, is really fact, right? And everything, then all roads lead to you, sweetheart. Okay. All the roads lead right to you. When I'm talking about the civil suits that you're actually facing, okay, possibly criminal charges that you're actually facing. I don't know about the criminal charges too much, but definitely civil suits, okay, in regards to this kind of stuff. Child, listen, okay, let's see though. But you think we all stupid around here. You said, just getting myself together, Muzz. Slander God, I appreciate you being in the building. And you said, Muzz. You said, hey, D. Darrell, I think one of your mods blocked me from your chat. And you said, hey, to Slander. You said, hey, to Muzz. You said, so that's how she looked when she was younger. This is what they're saying, right? And you said, D. Darrell Solutions, I know for sure this account is blocked. Did you do it? And then you said, what's good, y'all? Hey, Steph, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, hey, to Stephanie. You said, uh-oh. You said, hello, beautiful, the beautiful Bernice. You said, grown man will always be Suge Knight, child. Hey, Hood Conservative, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, them two are dying to put somebody in jail. And it's funny because I'm like, nobody's going to jail, sweetheart, okay? No one is going to go to jail. I don't know why they think anybody is going to be sitting in jail. And, you know, now when it comes to, at least when it comes to this stuff. And like I said, I just proved to you guys what the consequences are if somebody at the Social Security Administration does that, okay? They're not going to prison. I don't care what Shakim tries to jump up and down and yell and change his voice to tell us. I don't care what Rev G tells us. I don't care what anti-Afro says. I don't care what Breaking got to say. It don't fucking matter what any of these motherfuckers are saying. Nobody's going to fucking jail, period. Okay, now y'all seen it in black and white from the Social Security Administration themselves, okay? Now we don't have nothing to argue about. There's nothing else to refute. There's nothing else to go back and forth about. The bottom line is nobody's going to jail over this shit, okay? Not even anti when it comes to that part of it. Now, the rest of it, like I said, I don't know how far your hands are, how deep your hands are, whether you are trafficking people's information and, you know, using it for financial gain. Those things I don't know. I do know that you are using the information that you receive, and you're not only sending full sleeves and full jackets of people's information to people, but you're also attaching a payment to it. Okay? So that, ma'am, could definitely put you on the hook criminally and could definitely get you on the hook, you know, civilly in regards to what's happening to people's information, okay? And what damages that they're suffering based upon that. You said, hey, the hoodie. You said HC. You said Riz. You said Muz. You said if she really did make reports to the Social Security Administration regarding this, or if the fallen reverend did, they'd be real stupid. Yes, they aren't out of the woods just because they aren't the employee. And this is the part I want AAS to understand of the magnitude of what she's saying, right? Because this is a major thing to be saying about somebody, right? This is a huge thing to be accusing somebody of, right? So if you're actually going to accuse her of this, then how do you know that, right? Like, how are you, because you and Mona was cool. So how would you know that? And why are you so adamant that that's where this alleged information is from, right? How are you so adamant of that? Like, how do you know that already? Is it because, like I said, this is something you've been doing all along and now it turned on you? Like, what happened here? Okay, what made this actually happen in this situation? Okay, if this is actually the case. And now, like I said, anti, the burden of proof is on you because you're the one making the accusations, okay? And you're the one telling everybody to make sure that they report all this. So if that's what people need to be doing, and this is all really what's happening, well, how are you so adamant that that's where it all came from? How do you know? How do you know? Tell us. And like I said, I want to hear it from you. What's up, Conscious Energy? Appreciate you. And Make a Change, I appreciate you as well. You said before all this came out and before Mona came to the sector, AAS said Shakim was on SSI. How did she know this? Exactly. Anti, how did you know all this? So see, Anti has forgotten how much fuck she's like 60, you know, and I know 60 is not an old person. Most people in their 60s have all their faculties, but for some reason, I think she's starting to lose a lot of those faculties. Okay. And I think she really does forget like a lot of the stuff that she has done, or at least she thinks we forgot a lot of the stuff that she's done, right? Like she thinks everybody else is just slow and she's just smart and she can outsmart everybody and she can just, move on past something like she didn't do the very same things, So I'm wondering the same things because there was a lot of stuff that they said about Shakim, right? One of the things that they said was about him having HIV, allegedly, right? And a lot of times we were talking about how the reason that came out is because of some ads he was looking at and stuff like that. But I'm going to give Shakim a little bit more, okay? I'm going to help Shakim out a little bit because I need him to go ahead and file his reports, right? I really want him to contact the Inspector General. I would love to talk to them. I mean, yeah, go ahead and get in touch with me, right? Because all I'm going to say to them is I don't work for Social Security Administration, right? I mean, then they're going to have to turn around and walk away, right? But at the same time, I would say I do find it funny, though, that the very people that are in this sector, that run this sector, that started this shit, right? Those very people, that one person, that lady, anti-Afro, Andrea Stewart, right, in California, she has been the only one that has been in, kind of in the loop with real pertinent information on people. You know what I'm saying? One of those things being certain people's medical records, right? Whereas if there is something like HIV on your medical records, then the medications themselves would be popping up in their medical records. Okay. If that person had ever received Social Security, and say this alleged person was working at Social Security, as Anti is saying, right? Then it would be very easy for them to pull a medical report on that person, and they would see certain medications that that person is taking, and they would be able to know exactly whether they have a certain disorder or not. So this is where we're talking about civil lawsuits, okay? So yeah, Shakim, you might want to go ahead and file those reports. You're just not getting anybody locked up, okay? You're not. I'm sorry. Okay, nobody's losing their job, nobody's getting locked up, none of that stuff. Okay, nope. You might though, because you've been on some bullshit trying to fuck with these same people that been fucking you and multiple people over for years. Okay, yeah, allegedly, according to Anti, right? According to her adamancy that Social Security is where this information is coming from. Okay, this is what Anti said. So yeah, very good question. Make a change. You said, hey, to make a change. You said, hey, to Riz. You said, thanks for watching, everyone. Please hit the like, share this video, and subscribe to Black Lounge Divine with Miss T. Pre. You said, Riz, what goes up and never comes down? Hint, it's not something that travels up in the air. Child, I don't know with y'all too. You said, make a change, chilling, enjoying this weather out here. Yeah, it's pretty nice out today. You said, hey. You said, Muslim gossip, LOL. You said, Mus gossip. You said, LOL, that's a good one, but nope. Well, what is it? You said, make a change, wealth distribution, and a capitalist economy. You said, hey, Carrie, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, Mus, LOL, age. That's true. That's true. You said, Miss Thang. You said, Riz, damn, how you knew, LOL. You said, Mus, I'm smart. Remember, I helped CE with most of his Family Feud answers, but nah, I just read a lot. You said, hey to Miss Thang. You said, oh, sorry, that was meant for Mus. You said, good work on finding that Black Lounge Entertainment. I'm just saying, child. Shakim and Rev, what's happening, y'all? Appreciate y'all for being in the building. You said, Steph Collins, what was meant for me? You said, probably spam. Messy Mona. What's up, Messy Mona? Definitely appreciate you being in the building, sis. You said, meanwhile, T-Pre used her psychic abilities to get all the sector info. Child. Child, I'm a fake tarot reader. You said, my answer to the riddle, child. My answer to the riddle. You said, hey to Riz. You said, shout out to T-Pre. I appreciate you. Very perspective for being in the building. You said, respect Black Lounge. You said, Stephanie at Wealth Distribution. You said, Miss Thang, good to see you. You said, my answer to the riddle is Stargate's body count. Ooh, child. You said, also, no troll accounts allowed in the chat. No, it depends on who. You said, Steph Collins, gotcha. You said, AFW tactics, child. Mm-hmm. You said, hey, Miss Thang, I emailed you 30 minutes ago. I sent 2, and 1 more is on the way. Want to forward them to Stephanie Collins for me. You said, I honestly think that if someone paid someone else in the sector to use the misappropriated information to embarrass, harass, intimidate, silence, etc., that could also be fraudulent use, conspiracy. But see, conspiracy and fraud are not the same, right? Like when you put the word fraud in, there's finances in there. You know what I mean? Like conspiracy by itself is another thing. Now that, yeah, right? Now, if that would be if Anti, according to her logic, what she's saying here, that this is from the Social Security Administration. She knows this already, right? So if she's saying that, then she probably would be on the hook for conspiracy, right? If that is the case, or if a prosecutor decided to take it that far, right? Which I don't think they would, right? I honestly don't. I don't think it goes to that level. It would only go to that level if there was fraud involved, right? Like if there was some financial gain, meaning not somebody got paid to go and talk shit. I'm talking about there was a financial gain of, these Social Security numbers were sold to the black market. These Social Security numbers where this information was sold to somebody, or it was, sold to, and she received money for it. Then that would be where, we're talking about fraud and conspiracy, right? But everybody else who have, like, say, like even with grown man, like when he said he received information and got paid, right? That's not conspiracy, because he wouldn't have had any way of knowing where that information came from. You see what I'm trying to say? Which even for me, what I received and what I have, I had no way of knowing where that came from. I didn't ask. I didn't know. You see what I'm saying? I just see what I see, right? And none of it says anything about Social Security. So I'm not understanding where Anti is so adamant that that's where it's from. But if she is, I'm wondering if she knows more than what she's saying. I mean, is that what's going on? Because that don't make no sense to me at all. You said, and wire fraud. Now, the wire fraud is another thing, because that could mean multiple things, right? That could mean text, that could mean email. Anything electronic could be considered wire. Okay, so yes, it could be, right? But the fraud part would have to mean there's some kind of finances involved, okay? There's some financial gain involved when it comes to the people that are conspiring, right? Not the people that receive the information and then they decide they want to go and talk about it on their YouTube channel. That doesn't really go to the level of conspiracy, right? But the people who asked for it, received it, that could. You know what I'm saying? If that was really the case. But Anti, you're the one that's saying this. You're the one that's accusing her of this. So where are you getting that from? Like, where are you getting that from? Because what you're doing is you're implicating yourself if that's the case. And I'm just letting you know, all of these roads are leading to you, ma'am. They're not leading to Mona. They're leading to you. Okay? And that's just that. Because again, you haven't even proven that any of this came from where you're saying. You haven't proven that she works there, or that anybody else works there, or anybody she knows works there, or any of that. You haven't proven that. You're just saying stuff. Okay? And so far, even if that was the case, like I said, this would be the worst case scenario that would happen to her. If that was the case, or to her drinking buddy. That would be the worst case scenario, is a misdemeanor, which is no prison, no jail, no nothing, okay? And maybe a fine up to $5,000. It wouldn't go any further than that. So I'm not understanding what the big hoopla is, and you would never know. You would never find out anything. You wouldn't be able to, nobody's going to get back to you and tell Shakim, nobody's going to tell anybody anything. So again, are you accusing this woman of a conspiracy with yourself over people's information in the sector? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you are in cahoots with collecting personal and private information and using that against people in the sector. That's what it sounds like you've been doing all this time, all these years. Or are you now going to retract what you've been saying? Because that's what you've been saying. That's what you're saying when you're doubling down, tripling down on this coming from this place. And you know it. And there hasn't even been an investigation. But you're the one that's saying it. You see how you always put yourself in front and center of a situation? This is how we knew you were involved with the Archibald lawsuit. Because you were telling us stuff before it was even on Pacer. You were telling us stuff about that case before the court even knew about it. That's why. Because you're directly involved. And you do this to yourself every time. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, the only one that lies on and that literally lands on is you, Anti. When it comes to the sector, and when it comes to the civil suits that people have against you, and depending on what else you were involved with and what other systems you were using, what other means and resources you were using, and how deep this may go. Like I said, even if the drinking buddy or if Mona was working there, that's irrelevant at this point, because the source is you. You are the reason for the season. If that is the case, You would be the reason why everybody's shit is all over the place. You were the one that was sending money and asking for favors and allegedly still doing that. Some people caught on to it and figured you the fuck out and moved the fuck away from you and moved on with their lives. And when people move on with their lives, you can't take it. So you start doing stupid shit like what you've been doing. And now your shit's out here. Shout out to people for doing God's work. Because sometimes, things are redeemable when you can go back and look at why somebody might be doing something, When you look at how much propaganda you have produced in this sector between people, how you make people look a certain way and feel a certain way, and you use lies and manipulation to get them thinking all kinds of stuff until they start hanging around those people and they realize, no, these people ain't so bad. These people cool. I don't got no problem with these people. And then you realize you can't control them, and then you turn on them. But you fucked with the right one. Yeah. Because everything that you're getting, you deserve. You absolutely do. But again, nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to prison. Nobody's in trouble except you. Now, I don't know if you're going to prison or not. Because like I said, I don't know how deep you go into such conspiracies, into such things, and what you've been doing with that information. We don't know. We just know that you have it. And according to you, you're telling us the source. So thank you for that information, Anti. Or are you going to retract your statement? Are you going to change this statement? Because again, all of the roads lead to you. Right to your front door, sweetheart. Over there on Broadway in El Cajon. Apartment 28. Yeah, girl, that place right there. You said, thanks for watching, everyone. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share. What's up, Black Abe? You said, hey, messy Mona. You said, my email is public@muzz. Just Google me. You said, anti-fatback 10 hoagies has Lennon's money spread throughout the sector, child. My. You said, Stephanie Collins, okay. You said, hey, Muzz. You said, how about jail? Not even jail. We ain't going to jail either. And like I said, Anti is not on the hook when it comes to this for jail either, right? But I don't know what else she's been doing. That's my thing, right? Now, she definitely is on the hook for civil lawsuits. She's definitely on the hook for that. You said, and now that's if this is all, true, and this all actually really happened this way. You said, I think the consequences could be higher for the receivers of the information. Okay. Now, it depends on what, though, right? It depends on, like, what they do with it. You see what I'm saying? Because I looked into this even myself. So, you said, and don't bond them out either, Muzz. You said, I think if someone was to pay people to misuse the info, the consequences would be higher for them. It's possible. And I don't know. All I know is that just receiving information from somebody and even talking about it is, there's no, now if you're talking about like physical harm to somebody, yeah, that would be something different. But to be putting out and talking about somebody's information online, I don't know if there's real consequences for that. I'd like to see some evidence of that, because what I was looking at, I don't see that. But I do see where there's consequences, like if there's physical harm done to someone or something like that. Like if you dox somebody and then somebody comes and shoots them, that would be something different, right? But if somebody just talks about them online, that's talking about somebody online, right? And it's and if they're talking facts, what is, I don't really see how it's, that's kind of like going into the free speech thing, You said real talk. You said remember also Antichrist extortion is different than bribery. The target of the extortion is not criminally culpable usually. Right, right. You said Riz, whether federal or not, most likely both with release you without a bail, and definitely if you're a citizen, right? You said there is no bonding system in the federal system, and you said nope. You said Muz, good to know. Thanks for the enlightenment. You said if they was smart, they reported no one. However, their track record is bad on that. Definitely, okay. You said interesting, okay. You said on his channel, and his channel is monetized, right? So that was the thing about Rev G, right? With his channel was monetized, and if that was happening with him and he was in, like, it would be hard to prove that he was conspiring with such a thing unless they have like paper trails of him too, but which I doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if anything, if this was true, I think that the paper trail would lie between Anti and whoever the drinking buddy is, or whatever the case may be. That would be the only thing that would be connected. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that she would tell Rev G. She don't tell Rev G everything, right? She only tells him, what she wants him to know. So, and, I don't think that would, I don't know. It's, I'm not a lawyer, but it's hard to believe that he would be held culpable for something like this if he didn't know where it was actually coming from, right? He could, because like I said, what I looked at, it looked like a background check. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like. So it's not like it said anything along those lines on there. So, I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing that would be a connection. You said instead of worrying about jail, people need to worry about their health, arthritis, diabetes, memory loss, etc. Stay healthy, y'all. Word. You said, Riz, if the feds release you on a semi-serious charge like 5 to 10 years, they'll place an ankle bracelet on you and you report once a day by phone to them. You said, I think they need to worry about criminal consequences. Okay. You said, Muz Super Facts. I don't think some people are actually ready for Fed time, though. They should rather make sure they take their insulin and keep their blood pressure low. You know what? He said, Stephanie Collins, facts. Hey, LA Rams, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, what's happening, everyone? Hey, Pastor Stewart, definitely appreciate you being in the building. Everybody hit the like. Thank you, LA Rams. You said, except maybe them. You said, peace, T. Pre. I appreciate you coming in, Brixton, today. You said, no, I didn't, Muz. And you said, salute T. Pre. Thank you, West Bank. Appreciate you coming in the building. You said, Riz, sheesh, federal prison is the best place to be locked up. No gangs at all. You have food, probably your own room, schooling, etc. You chill in a federal prison. 100. You said D. Durrell's Life Solutions. You said who photo is that? Apparently it's supposed to be Anti's. I know that they added the glasses though, so the glasses aren't real, but apparently that's supposed to be Anti from back in the day. You said, hey Eyes, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, Muz, nah, that's only low security. The unit on Beaumont, Texas is called FBH Bloody Beaumont. You said, Muz, man, I'm good on that. I already got freedom, LOL. But those who do get locked up in federal prison do have it good to a certain degree. I'm promoting freedom, bro. F that. Got to make increments. Word. I feel you on that, honey. I ain't trying to be in nobody's prison. You said, Muz, although they won't be able to go live in the feds, laughing my ass off. You said, Stephanie Collins, yes, it differs on where you are, but overall, it'll take federal prisons over county or state prison any day. You said, Riz, well, you said, Steph, LOL, they can go live in the feds, child. You said, I know people get access to cell phones nowadays. I knew somebody that was in Cambridge and they was living good down there. So I don't know. Niggas be doing pretty good in feds. You said in jail, etc. You said I'll 10K to stay out of jail for a week. You said I'll pay 10K to stay out of jail for a week. You said Rizzler says they have the ability a lot of times, but not the permission. If you feel me. You said, Muz, that's insane. Why do the crime in the first place to waste 10K? You said, Steph Collins, I feel you in my mic voice. You said, Riz, hypothetically speaking. Muz, that sounds better. You said, oh, Lord. You said, for the record, Shakim doesn't make $70 an hour. He watched 25,000 last year, and he only worked for a few months, so it averaged to $70 an hour. So yeah, he doesn't make $70 an hour. He does, right? But he works like one of those things where it's like project work, right? So like it would add up to like $70 per hour, but he doesn't work like 80 hours, per pay period or anything like that, right? Like it's nothing close to six figures. It's more like 25,000. As a matter of fact, he has a salary of 25,000 per year. But with the hours that he would work and that would connect it, he would make about $70 an hour. So that's what that means, and he needs to stop. He said, Stargate's body count, child. You said, yeah, I'll forward them, Muslim. You said, thanks. You said, Miss Thank, thank you very much. You said, wait, I forgot to save her email. I don't have it. He said, my question is, what is Lennon Honor hiding per his feelings, right? His feelings toward anti-back fat 10 hoagies. That's a good question. He probably knows that she was getting information in ways that she should not have. He probably knew that, and that's why he didn't want anything to do with that whole Fed thing and talking to the feds and acting like it was that big of a deal, because it really wasn't that deep. And plus they were lying on people and making shit up, and trying to conspire to make, he didn't want no parts of that probably. And he was pretty smart for doing that, and turning his back on her. KKC was probably the same way. He said, I'll do it, Miss Thing. You said, Stephanie, if you email me, I take steps to verify your email before I reply. She said, okay, Muslim, never mind, Steph. You said, she goes the greater lengths of paying people to entertain her twisted mental state. Most people who are 60 should be in a rocking chair reading a newspaper, not YouTube, or at least going on vacation and enjoying their best fucking life. She out here on YouTube fighting some imaginable fraud and imaginable issues with people and all this bullshit, child. You said they all gonna say they was just trolling, okay? You said, hello, Redbow with the new money. You said, hey, Muzz. You said, mental state, my bad, editing videos. You're good. You said, Black Lounge Divine, whatever happened to staying away from demon-infused chats? Y'all remember that? You said, what's poppin'? What's up, Death Test Karma? I appreciate you coming in the building. You said, hey to Death Test Karma. You said, Bernice, what's good? Big love. And you said, make sure y'all hit the like button and drink your milk and say your prayers, okay? All right, y'all. Well, listen, that's all I had, right? I just wanted to go over that stuff and just kind of make it, help Anti to understand that, she is really implicating herself in this situation once again, while she's telling us where this stuff is allegedly coming from, okay? And, telling everybody to private their videos and put everything away and do this and do that. The reason why you're telling people that is it because, all that information that y'all had with Carrie and y'all had on Nikki and all these people is all that stuff you got that you should not have been looking at, Anti. Is that the case? Is how you got Darrell's info? Darrell's mom, Darrell's dad, Darrell's kids, Darrell's wife. Is that how you got this info? I mean, because you're the one that's saying it. Okay. So, again, this burden of proof is now on you, while you're telling everybody how, you are so law abiding, but yet you are so adamant of where this information is coming from, who it needs to be reported to, and so forth and so on. And now that everybody is fully aware of what identity theft means and what it entails, now that we're fully aware of what this entire identity theft prosecution for Social Security Administration is really about, and now that we're also aware of, if in the worst case scenario, this was the truth about Mona or about the drinking buddy, that, this would be the worst case possible scenario that would happen to her. Okay, now that we're all aware of all that, yeah, Anti, we want to hear from you now. Okay, like what involvement, how much of this are you involved in that you are so adamant that this is where this is from? And what were you doing with that information, ma'am, if that is the case? Okay, because I find it very, very strange that all these people that you have such a hatred for have truly been doxxed in this sector. Talking about their medical records have been doxxed, their home information, their families, where they work, all of these things have been doxxed. Certain things about their licenses, stuff that's happened in their past, court records, all kinds of stuff has been doxxed from you directly. And we've got people that are letting us know because they're doing the righteous thing and saying, yeah, and you paid me to do it. So we'll wait to hear from you, ma'am. In the meantime, let me go ahead and finish out the comments, and then I'm going to end the show and enjoy the rest of my Saturday. You said, I think you are absolutely right that if they were to get charged, it'd be a unique, atypical case, and it'd take a creative prosecutor. Plus, it'd have to meet the federal threshold for prosecution. 100% facts. And at this point, according to what this is all saying, it does not. Okay, it just doesn't. Now, again, we don't know what Anti was involved with in the, behind the scenes, but we do know that according to Anti, she's so adamant about where this all came from, honey. Okay. And what's up, Propane? I appreciate you coming in the building. You said, Propane, my dude. You said, Steph, can you represent me, please, child? You said, so I think ultimately it'd be highly, highly unlikely they'd catch a case. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. And I need her to just sit the fuck down, okay? While she out here implicating herself, Anti, I'm gonna need you to have several fucking seats because, ma'am, I mean, we know you work at Kepra. We know you're making like $85,000 a year, okay? And yeah, you know, at this point, you're looking at lawsuits, like major lawsuits. That's what you're looking at. You said, Messy Mona, hell yeah, I got you. You said, Propane said, she said, I have a police record and I've been still waiting to see this shit, okay? You said, thank you, Mr. Big Vest. You said, Propane, she said, I have the emails. And you said, I guess Shakim name is no longer a contraband on her channel. I guess not, child. You said all this crazy clocking, all this crazy doxing, but no pulling up. Yeah, because people are grown. Nobody's going to pull up, okay? We're not children, okay? You know, where we pulling up and beating people the fuck up and all this shit. We're 40s and 50s and shit, man. And I think you are too. So I think you know why nobody's pulling up, so. But what's up anyway? You said, make a change. Nope, that's her bestie now, child. Okay. You said, Jesus, laughing my ass off. All right, y'all, we out of here. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out for me and just letting me rant and just, you know, talk my little shit with Anti. And like I said, I ain't got to do this for hours and hours and scream and yell and make you believe it and all this other shit. At the end of the day, shit is what the fuck it is, okay? And we're going to call shit what it is. That's what the fuck we do over here in the lounge. We don't beat around the bush. We don't, you know, we don't penny foot around shit and pussy foot around motherfuckers and all that shit. No, honey, we're going to speak facts. We're going to speak truth. And you just might not like that shit. But, honey, it's going to force you to look the fuck in the mirror. That's what the fuck it's going to do. I holla. Peace, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys.